Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons, I'm going to share with you how the Paramount Championships work, because I originally thought it worked one way. It's actually a little bit different than my expectation, and so let's break it all down based on my experience actually having advanced so far past the group stage into the qualifier matches. Kind of neat. So big picture, the Paramount Championship is a special form of something that you've already seen. It's the Tournament of Champions. Tournament of Champions, where you set your lineup of 5 hero pairings with pets, and you have a defense, you go on offense. This is a little bit different, but there are similarities. So the Paramount Championships takes the top-ranked players from the Tournament of Champions and pits them in a battle to figure out who really is the number one, going head-to-head with other teams until you get there. And you start with, in most cases, 128 teams. They get smashed into groups. The groups do fights. Top players from the groups advance, which you can see I have here. Then there's a qualifier. One player advances through the qualifier. And then finally, there's a championship series of rounds where one champion is ultimately crowned. All right, that's the big picture. Now, let's go through the rules here and talk about this a little bit more in depth. So big picture, there's a selection phase. If you're in season 1, it's the top 32 highest scoring Tournament of Champion players that participate in this event. If it's season 2 or later, which is where most people are, it's the top 128 highest scoring players in the Tournament of Championships that are in the Paramount Championship. The first stage of the tournament is the group stage. There's 128 players that are grouped into 8 divisions. Each division has 4 groups of 4 players. So I showed that to you, right? 8 divisions. 4 groups per division, 4 players in each group, right? We head back over to the rules here, and we can see that players within each group will play 1 match against each other player. Victory grants 1 point. The top 2 players in each group advance to the qualifiers. All right, so you want to advance to the qualifiers. The qualifiers last for 3 days. There's 1 round of elimination per day, and each division will have 1 player that will ultimately advance. They are the division champion. So here you can see we've done the group stages, right? Then you get to the qualifiers. 1 player advances from the qualifiers. And then basically there's this bracket all over again for the championship rounds, where it's the winner of each division getting thrown on the outskirts here of the bracket. All right. So that's sort of big picture how it works. But at a more detailed level, you set a defense, and your defense also doubles as your offense. So you set 5 different formations. I'll just pull this up as an example here. And you can reuse your heroes and pets across the different combinations. I thought you were going to be using, in each formation, you had to use like different stuff, and you could only deploy stuff once. No. You can do whatever you want in any of the formations. You just have 5 formations. They work as your defense and the offense, all right? And we can go into the detailed combat rules to talk about how they sort of get paired up against each other. But if I show you my match history by clicking on my name here, each time you battle somebody, it's a best 3 out of 5, right? So I set 5 lineups. So when I battled against Panda Fury in this group stage, I won the first time, I won the second time, I won the third time. So they're like, okay, you win the best 3 out of 5 here. You get the point. Same is true for this next one and this next one over here. I went undefeated. Okay, whatever. This next guy, just to give you an example, you can see he actually lost the first fight, lost the second fight, then won the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and ultimately won that series because he won 3 out of 5. Kind of neat. So the top 2 highest scoring teams in your group advance to the qualifiers. 1 team from the sort of qualifier matches advances to the championship, and then there's 1 Paramount champion. Now, when we go to the combat section, this explains the way that the formations work. So before the competition begins, participating players must configure 5 formations. Players' formations will face off against each other in sequence. The first player to win 3 rounds is the winner. During the competition, players can adjust their formations for the upcoming match, but please note these formations will be locked 1 hour before the upcoming match begins and cannot be changed afterwards. Please make sure to make any adjustments before then. Any changes to a formation's buffs will be automatically updated in real time up until the moment the formation is locked. Please be sure you do not affect a formation's buffs by temporarily removing equipment or making other changes you do not intend to keep. So this one I don't totally understand, this line. Any changes to a formation's buff will automatically be updated in real time. Sounds to me like you don't want to make any changes to like your pets or your talents in the middle of all of these battles taking place. But the Paramount Championship event, you can tap into other players' avatars to see their match record. Understanding your opponent's match record can help you make appropriate changes to your formations. So what they're basically saying here is like, hey, you can peek other people's formations, so you probably want to make changes every round, right? Like, probably want to make changes every round. If you do not make any changes to your formations, the system will automatically use your formation settings from the previous match. And if you do not configure your formations prior to the group match phase, the system will automatically use the defense formation from your Tournament of Champion. You will not be able to make any changes to your formations during the periods of system maintenance. All right, cool. So there's a little more information here, but this is what's important. All personal combat buffs, including buildings, tech, heroes, artifacts, war pets, and policies, will be carried over into the Paramount Championship. Temporary buffs will not be carried over into the Paramount Championship. And your power is displayed in the Paramount Championship as the sum of the following elements: heroes, city buildings, deployed legions, and certain combat-related technologies. In the Paramount Championship, legions are provided to you. In the Paramount Championship, artifact skills are cast automatically, and artifact skills that cannot be cast automatically cannot be used. There you go. So, big picture, this is basically kind of like an auto battler. Like, you set your defense, it also runs as an offense, and you just hope you win. So versatile formations, right, are the way to go. And certainly, I don't know what the meta is yet, and I'm definitely interested in your thoughts down below in the comments. If there's like a one superior way to go, is it to run a bunch of cavalry? Is it to run a lot of DPS? Is it to run a lot of infantry? Like, I don't know what the answer is. I happen to enjoy infantry, so I may use 2 or 3 infantry. I might use 1 in some formations. We'll kind of see what I end up doing here. But there are some pretty cool prizes if you make it all the way. Let's see here. Do I have a list of the prizes? Rewards. There we go. So there's a special avatar frame, and there's also a special nameplate. Now, let's see here. Players who enter the group matches will receive personal ranking rewards according to their final rank. Rewards are issued once championship matches have ended. So rank rewards you get, I don't know. Oh, this is permanent. It says permanent. So you can unlock this avatar frame. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's a cosmetic, Realm rewards, as well as receiving personal ranking rewards. All players in the realm of the Paramount Champion and the runner-up will receive glory rewards. They're issued once the championship matches have ended. That's kind of cool. And then there's going to be some predictions. This will be kind of fun. You can predict who will become the Paramount Champion. So cool. So all in all, I think this event is kind of neat. I feel like, obviously, Tournament of Champions lets you be a lot more dynamic in terms of, hey, I'm going to fight this guy. I know exactly how to counter him. Boom. This requires you to be somewhat predictive of your enemy lineup and also to be lucky in making sure that like what you chose was flexible enough to actually handle what the opponent is doing. So I'm not going to go into all the details of like how you might configure your offense and your defense for this, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you hyped for the Paramount Championship? I feel like it is kind of a cool addition to the game. I generally like things that are pretty, hype building. The only thing I would point out is like, I'd love to see, what player wouldn't say, I'd love to see more rewards? But, one player gets 5 legendary hero tokens, right? Like, rank 3 through 4 gets 1 hero token. There's like 1,000 gems. This is not really about the rewards. This is more about the title, right? And it's really cool that there's, in my opinion, kind of a realm reward where there's incentive for like the whole realm to kind of support the player from their realm that is doing well. I really like the vibe that creates, right? I think that's very cool. And then the ability for everybody to get a piece of that by predicting the winner is also cool. So you've got like at an individual level, you can do well, both from playing it and spectating it. And at a realm level, there's sort of a honoring of the player who gets the W. Very cool. If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. I'll let you know how it goes. Assuming I do decently here, maybe I make it out of the qualifiers, but I think there's some very good teams in here, and you'll see if I can pull it off. Till next time, you have fun smashing your enemies, and check the card on the end screen. I maxed Danfell, and I maxed Mogro, and I've got the shield now, so if you want to see videos about the shield, or maybe about Danfell, cards will be here and here.